The Man in Yellow's Biggest Mistake, from Season 4, Episode 9, Breakdown a Crack in the Armor. What if the Man in Yellow is finally losing his grip? After going through the trailer for From Season 4, Episode 9, the reveal that stood out most wasn't Sophia closing in on Clara, Victor's emotional collapse, or even Boyd getting ready to break ground on those bones. It was something simpler: fear. For once, the people running this nightmare looked genuinely rattled, and if that's the case, Episode 9 could shift the entire direction of the show. Hey everyone, welcome back to Breakdown Insight. Quick heads up, this video is full of spoilers, so turn back now if you haven't seen the trailer yet. Breaking down the trailer. Let's start with the line that grabbed everyone's attention, the Man in Yellow's warning to Tabitha. Fans are split on whether he's actually telling the truth. My take? I'm skeptical. Here's why. This is a being that runs on suffering. Every threat in this town feeds off fear, pain, and chaos. So why would he suddenly start warning people away from unimaginable suffering? That's not how he operates. If digging up the bones really does spell disaster, that should be exactly what he wants, which makes me think he's either bluffing, or worse, he's panicking because something else is buried down there that he desperately doesn't want found. If that's true, it's a far scarier idea because it means the answers everyone's been chasing might actually be within reach. That brings us to Boyd. The trailer makes it obvious he's done sitting on the fence. Last episode, he was cautious, worried that sending people into the caves could end in a bloodbath. Now that hesitation is gone. The second he starts talking about putting shovels in the dirt, you can feel the tone shift. He's no longer playing it safe. He wants answers no matter the cost. And that's risky because every time someone in this town gets close to the truth, something pushes back hard. While Boyd is charging forward, Victor is falling apart, and honestly, his reaction might be the biggest clue in the whole trailer. We've seen him scared before, we've seen him confused, but this is different. This looks like a man watching history repeat itself. Does Victor already know what happens when those bones get disturbed? Was the original massacre tied to this exact decision? If so, his panic in the street as Boyd chases after him isn't ordinary fear, it's trauma resurfacing. It almost feels like he knows something terrible is coming and nobody's willing to listen. And if Victor, someone who's survived longer than almost anyone, is this terrified, maybe we should be paying closer attention too. The Sophia and Clara problem. While everyone's locked onto Boyd and Victor, I think the most dangerous thread might belong to Clara. Sophia's scenes are unsettling in a very specific way. The slow approach, the smile, the question about whether Clara really knows who she is. That's not a conversation. That's a predator circling its prey. And the moment Clara's fear shows on her face, you know something bad is coming. My theory, Sophia isn't just planning to reveal her connection to the Man in Yellow. I think she's running a longer game. We've already watched Henry get manipulated into doubting reality itself. What if Clara is next? Imagine Sophia feeding her false visions or alternate memories until Clara starts acting like a different person, and nobody can tell what's real anymore. That would fit perfectly with the kind of psychological horror this show keeps leaning into. There's also a small detail worth not overlooking: Ellis holding on to an old Polaroid. Shows like this rarely include random objects without reason. If that photo proves Sophia looked exactly the same decades ago, that's no longer suspicion. That's confirmation she's something beyond human, and proof the town cycle has been running far longer than anyone realized. The downside? Getting close to that kind of truth in this show usually comes with a price. People who dig too deep tend to end up dead, broken, or wishing they'd never asked. The children and what's still coming. Tabitha and Ethan showing up again can't be a coincidence. Every appearance they make is trying to communicate something, and this time they're pointing at something specific. My guess is it's either tied to the location of the original massacre or somewhere that could shelter Ethan once things fall apart. Given how much the show has hinted at Ethan walking a path similar to Victor's, it really does feel like history is gearing up to repeat itself, and that could quietly be the setup for the season's endgame. Two storylines barely showed up in the trailer but could still matter a lot next episode: Fatima and Henry. Fatima's transformation keeps getting more unsettling. Her body is changing, her link to the monsters keeps deepening, and episode 9 might finally show us what she's turning into. Henry's arc worries me the most, though. Everything happening to him feels like a setup. He's being shown a perfect, happy version of life that he desperately wants to believe in. But what if that's exactly the trap? What if the town is using that fantasy to push him toward a decision he'll regret? And if that happens, Victor could end up losing the one thing he has left. My prediction for episode 9. Here's my boldest call. I don't think episode 9 hands us answers. I think it hands us consequences. Boyd pushes forward. Victor tries and fails to stop him. Sophia keeps playing her game. Clara becomes the first casualty of something much bigger. And by the end, the town realizes the rules are starting to change. Because if this trailer tells us anything, it's that the man in yellow isn't acting like someone in control anymore. He's acting like someone running out of time. And if the people trapped in this nightmare are finally getting close to the truth, the final stretch of this season could be the most important the show has ever delivered. So, is the man in yellow bluffing about the bones? Does Victor already know what happened during the original massacre? And is Clara about to become the first sign of the suffering everyone's been warned about? Drop your theories in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown, subscribe. There's a lot more Season 4 content coming. See you in the next one.